All right. Hello to everyone out there. Thank you so much for coming to this event today. We are so excited to see all of your faces and just very appreciative of your time. But yeah, I'm Chloe. I am one of the co-producers for Room Rodeo. And like I said, we are so grateful for all of you and your time today.
And I'm Lola, the other producer attached to Room Rodeo. I'm really happy to see so many friends, family, people that have helped us make our graduate thesis process here today. We're excited to show you how this film came to be and a really special snippet at the end. You're welcome to leave your camera on or camera off, but as Chloe said, just please stay muted until the end, and we're really excited to have a conversation at the end of the call.
Yeah. So let's get into it. We just wanted to let you guys know what we are going to be discussing today. We're expecting this to be about a 30-minute event. We didn't want to keep you too long. As Lola said, at the end, we will show a longer clip of the film. But here's kind of what we're going to talk about today. So we're going to give you guys a behind the scenes. We're going to tell you about the film. We're going to tell you the purpose of the project and introduce you to partners and voices in the film, let you know about our team and our cast, and then give you an inside look.
For sure. We're hoping it will be really interactive and engaging in terms of letting you know exactly how we came to be at the point that we're at now. And the best place to start off doing that is with this little behind the scenes video, as I find that a lot of the time when we talk about film school, people aren't necessarily sure what that entails, whether it's just us having a laugh with a few of our friends to make cool stuff, or they think it's like quite the opposite, quite huge scale. We're somewhere happily in the middle, so we're excited to share that with you.
Yeah. So without further ado, we're going to show you the behind the scenes.
Now, who y'all want to see?
I'm so excited that the legacy of the Black Cowboy is not forgotten and continues to live on. Bill Pickett invented the rodeo sport of still wrestling and was really never allowed to compete in the sport because he wasn't allowed to compete with the white cowboys. Like Mr. Cash said, we were some of the best cowboys and still are. The history is not being told because they don't want the truth to be told that we were the best cowboys out there.
There's yet so many people who do not realize that African Americans do have a history in the very beginnings of what is known as the Great American Western Settlement, and made many roles and great accomplishments.
DeAndre, the last day, man. Good job.
I'm so excited to see this present generation cementing this history so that it will not get lost.
Yeah, so that's right. Coming summer 2021. Lola, you're muted.
Thank you. Coming summer 2021, and that was a little sneak peek into the process that we went through for 6 days in December as the only advanced project in our school to be permitted to film during COVID times.
Yeah. And I think it's so important to note the level of precaution that went into that. My partner is a physician, and so we had him look over our COVID protocols. And obviously the school had its own guidelines in place that we had to follow, including keeping our set down to a minimum. And that was, a feat in itself, because typically these advanced projects take 30, 40 students. But we were able to get it done with 10. And we're really proud about that as well. So I hope you all noticed, we were all masked. We had, the shields and all of that. But yeah, it was a great experience. We are so happy and thrilled with what we were able to accomplish, and also grateful to everyone who was involved. So now we're going to tell you about the film, right? Some of you out there might not know what it's about. And so we're going to start with what's called a log line. And a log line is a very short summary of the film, usually 1 to 2 sentences. And for this film, it's a stylized drama documentary hybrid about a wide-eyed boy. His name is Jamil, and he's determined to complete a class project that proves his great-grandfather is a legendary Black cowboy. But when his beliefs are challenged, he takes matters into his own hands, discovering a truth bigger than he could have ever dreamed. And we'll get into the story some more as well. Actually, that is the next slide.
And as we're ticking along here, you'll see all these pictures are shots from the film, are very adorable and surprised main character Jamil there. So the synopsis, kind of getting into it a bit more, what we mean by him coming into his own and imagining a world bigger than he ever could have dreamed. He's 10 years old, an excited, overzealous 5th grader that has a history project to complete. His dad was meant to help him do that by telling him the story and the legacy of who he believes to be his great-great-grandfather, rodeo star Billy P. But when his dad stands him up, doesn't have time for him over the phone, he tries to find the energy within himself when a kid from school calls with a humiliating declaration: Black cowboys aren't real. He's discouraged, feeling downtrodden, but during the course of Rodeo, he finds the power to imagine a world that is rich and lush with Black cowboys, their history, calling on a dubious family heirloom to help him to do that, all from the comfort of his bedroom, hence the title, Rodeo.
Absolutely. And that brings us to the purpose of this project. Lola and I started the summer of 2020 with different thesis ideas. The pandemic, actually this was the end of the spring semester of 2020. And the pandemic hit the country, classes were canceled. Both of our individual thesis projects were basically, we couldn't shoot them. And so we came together, and we came together with a real purpose. With this project, we have 3 different things that we've identified as the purpose of this project. So one of them is to diversify. We recognize the importance of representation in media and in film. And we also recognize that the Black community is not a monolith. And I think a lot of you here today are, evidence of that, right? We have people from all over the country here today, people from the Black diaspora. I said all over the country, I meant all over the world, people in the Black diaspora, and we're not a monolith. And so we really want to make sure that the stories that we create continue to diversify the narratives that are being told.
Yes, which moves us on to our second purpose for Rodeo, and it is to really challenge what people have been taught in schools and messages of erasure that tell people that the image of the cowboy is a rugged white man, when in actuality, as many as 25% of all cowboys at one point in history were Black. So we really want to fly the flag for that. In a film for children, so starting from the bottom up with the people that need to know the knowledge first so they can go out there and disperse it, and really inspire them. A little fun fact, Rodeo as much as it's inspired by like amazing Black cowboys that we now know, can call on the phone and have a little chat with, which is amazing to say. Room Rodeo was kind of born from Lil Nas X and looking at the success that he had and the visibility that he gave Black cowboys in the mainstream media, making it cool for this image of the Black cowboy to be out there. So he kind of kicked the door open and made room for filmmakers like us to come in and tell the real and authentic story.
Absolutely. So now we want to definitely give a shout out to our partners and some of the voices that you hear in this film. We couldn't tell this story alone. And Lola and I are both former journalists, and it was so important for us to lean on the history, to lean on the facts. And we found partners to help us do that. And so a few of those partners listed here, just so essential to this project. The first being the National Multicultural Western Heritage Museum in Fort Worth, Texas. The next being the Bill Pickett Invitational Rodeo, which is the largest and Black touring rodeo in the country.
In the world even, let's take
in
it
the world.
further. Norman Film Studios, to the left of the Bill Pickett Invitational Rodeo, they are forerunners in creating Black race films in the early 1920s, and they kindly gifted us with footage from one of the earliest films that features Bill Pickett to use in our film. The film as a whole is largely believed to be lost. There are about 2 minutes left of it in existence, and it appears in our film, which we're super grateful for. And then to the far right, we have the Broken Arrow Riding Club, which is really key to the message that we're trying to spread, that Black life isn't a monolith. There are cowboys living in rural areas, living in urban areas, and amazing work taking place right here in Chicago, where our film is set and where we shot the film.
And for another set of people who we could not have made this film without, our team, our crew. Here you see many of the people involved in the film, from director, DP, all of these different positions that are necessary to create a film. And also our cast, who we have to give a special shout out to as well. Jamil is played by a 9-year-old DeAndre Davis, and he's joined by several other cast members on the film. And we're just really grateful to all of you. And some of you are out in the audience today, so thank you so much for coming. We love to see you guys' faces.
Yeah, absolutely. Just to echo that, and even though DeAndre Davis is the only one pictured here, it really takes a village, or I think like a lot of the time, again, when people think about film school and the fact that we're filmmakers, they're not quite sure what that entails. So it's like, just to point out a few names, Kengi, who was the amazing production designer on this project, Daniel Kayamba, who was our director, both Chloe and I are producers, Yanni, who wrote the script for Room Rodeo, and many, many more people, amazing people that we're working with in post-production, like Paige Brunsen, who we'll hear from later, as she's going to be the one screening the very special surprise we have for you guys.
Thank you to you all. And with that, we're going to move to an inside look. And we hope that this works to kind of demystify the film process for you all. Maybe that's a part of the magic of film, is that we don't really know what's going on. But I think understanding the processes that go into film, the planning that goes into film, and the level of collaboration is really important. To me, it doesn't remove the magic. To me, it makes it even more magical that all of these people came together and were passionate and dedicated to the story enough to make it come to fruition. So what we're looking at here, this first image, is actually the first page of our script. To make a film, we start with just words and ideas. And basically our director, Daniel Kayamba, took that script, and he's taking notes on that script. He's taking notes on what he wants the performance of the actors to be, what he wants the feeling to be, what he wants the audience to get from it. And that's really important. The next image that you see are storyboards, which were drawn by our concept artist, Louise Bean. And they basically took, you know, the ideas that Daniel had and worked with our director of photography, or DP, Eli Cooper, and basically helped them all to visualize what the shots would be before we ever step on set.
And then to the far left, you have what we actually got. So that's a summation of the script, enhanced by Daniel's notes and instruction for DeAndre Davis, who was playing Jamel. He was able to visualize all this stuff through the work of Louise Bean and their sketches for the storyboards. And then we shot it. We got it on camera. So yeah, that's just a bit to show you in the months leading up to production, all the work that we were doing behind the scenes to get here.
Our next inside look shows the work that goes into production design. So production design and production designers, basically what they do is build the scenery of the set. The scene and the context of the film is very much their responsibility. But before they get on set, they do a lot of planning as well. And so in this first image to your left, you see the sketch. And this is what our production designer, Kengi, created on a computer on software called SketchUp. And basically, he's trying to figure out, what is the room gonna look like? What are the props? What is the setup? And so you can see he gets very detailed and creating this 3D image. And then so the second image in the middle is what it actually looked like. It's basically the same, right? It's like the same thing, which is like a huge testament to Kengi and his level of skill, but also his planning, right?
Yeah. Also his planning and the team that he had behind him to support him, like Delaney Pressler, who is an amazing construction coordinator, helping with the four walls, the windows, the doors, everything, even the fringing, the skirting boards of the room. They really, really work hard to make sure that it is a world that you would believe to be a 10-year-old boy's bedroom. And to the far right, we see Jamel there. So even down to the very posters that are in Kenji's initial SketchUp, they did an amazing job and we're so proud of them all. But yeah, that's what it took to get there.
Oh, we should also note that they built this from scratch. One of the stipulations of our of shooting during the pandemic that our school handed down to us was that we could not shoot on location, which would be like if we had rented an Airbnb or like shot in someone's house. So where we shot was actually on a soundstage on campus. And this is like a very controlled environment where the sound is controlled, the lighting is controlled, everything is controlled, but it also means that we have to build things from scratch. So, you know, Delaney and Kengi and Leo and everyone who helped build this set basically put the walls together, they painted all of this, and we'll kind of get into what that meant for the project as we continue. We're gonna move on. This is the last inside look coming up.
Yeah, so for the last inside look, what we have here are overheads. So this is majorly the work of our cinematographer, Eli Cooper. So it is using the sketch of Jamel's bedroom to kind of map out alongside the director where the actor is going to be in the room, what movement he's going to follow, and where the camera is going to be in relation to him, which is really important so that when you get on stage, if you have 8 hours, you can get everything you need to get done. So it's really small, but a crash course. The blue dots are Jamel, our main character, and then you have the little green cameras tracking where he's going to go in the room. And I think for me, my favorite thing about learning about these overheads and realizing what they mean is seeing that there's a little green camera sitting on top of his desk, which is obviously physically impossible. But one of the benefits of COVID kind of forcing us to build a set and do things on a soundstage meant that we could be really creative and inventive with the shots by being able to move a wall. You want the camera to go there, just move the wall out, and we were able to get a lot more up close and personal and into the emotions of our protagonists because of this. So as much as it was really hard, there were some amazing benefits of having to work in this way too.
So hopefully you all have a better understanding of what this film is about, the kind of work that went into the film. And we just wanted to take a second to tell you about the goals and the needs of this project. The goals are kind of specific to Lola and I. The first one is to complete the film. You all saw a lot of the work that went in before we went on set, and then some of the work that happened once we got on set. After you step off of a film set, the film is not finished. It actually takes a lot of work after the film is complete to get it finished. I'm sorry, after shooting is complete to get the film finished. So that's definitely an immediate goal, is to finish the film. Another goal is to graduate on time. So in spring 2020, when classes were moved to a virtual setting, and our individual thesis projects were kind of rendered moot, it was up in the air whether we were going to graduate on time. But we didn't accept that. We were just like, you know what, we have to push forward. And that's when we came to collaborate together. The fact that we were able to shoot this project last semester put us back on track to graduate on time. And because this is our thesis film, it's very much linked to our graduation. So we actually have to have a screening for the film on May 13th, right before graduation. And that is a part of our thesis requirements. So the two things are very much linked.
Yeah, the two things are so intertwined. And in order to get Room Rodeo to completion, graduating on time, there are a few processes that we need to go through. So we shot the film. We're really pleased and proud of the direction it's moving in, but we need to get started on things like color grading. So that will be making sure that everything is as vibrant and rich as you would want it to be by the time it gets to you when you're looking at it. And a really important goal for us, and the reason we decided that we're going to launch a crowdfunder, is so that we can pay a young working professional to do this work and recognize that as much as COVID has impacted us and made our production really expensive to get off the ground, there are lots of young people who are struggling for work right now, and we should really be compensating them for their time. Music composition, that is something that is hugely beneficial to me, even when I think about my favorite TV programs and films and how the music builds emotion. The third thing, digital cinema packages, that's something that's probably less familiar to you. And what this is essentially a fancy hard drive or hard drives in our instance. That means that you are able to digitally transmit your film to different film festivals around the world. And that is the real intention for Chloe and I, to make sure that Room Rodeo is seen not just by our friends, family, and supporters who have really been writing for this project and we care about so greatly, but to make sure that it is put on screens to be displayed to children all around the world, families all around the world, and just make sure that something like this, that we really want to be able to use as an educational tool, gets a worthy platform. And in order to kind of demonstrate everything I just said, a bunch of film talk, we actually put together a 1-minute clip where we take Room Rodeo through all those processes, give it its color grading, music composition, and sound design, shout out to Jessica, in order to enhance and elevate the film. So we hope you will enjoy that. There's a little caveat though, that obviously watching through Zoom, there may be a bit of a lag, but we still hope you'll be able to enjoy it and pay attention as each step progresses.
Should we give them a little context of what they're about to see?
Yes, definitely. Because this is only a 1-minute clip, let's go straight back to the synopsis that we mentioned with the film. Jamil is a 10-year-old boy who has just been stood up by his father. His dad is calling him now to try and get back in his good books. Like, I couldn't be there to help you with this assignment. I couldn't be there to talk to you about a family history you so desperately want to know about, but I'm gonna give you a call. I'm gonna sweeten you up a bit, tell you about your family history. And this clip is essentially Jamil's father trying to get back into his good books.
Without further ado. Oh, I guess I have to press play.
They say that's how he learned he could tame a cow just by biting his lip.
I could never do something like that.
Yeah, he was the greatest man that ever was. Billy P, the bulldog. He traveled the country, making a name for himself. Back then, white folk
Come
ain't...
on, man, we need you in here. Are you coming in?
Yeah. Jamil, I gotta go.
No,
You
wait,
got this.
wait. Jamil, got this. Bravest man in the camp ever was.
So that's a short clip. We hope you enjoyed it. We do have more to share, so please stick with us. And as Lola mentioned, we hope that you were able to kind of see some of the different processes. So the color got a little bit more vibrant, and you heard music at one point in the film, and then you heard some sound effects, like when he pulls out his little handgun. So these are all different processes that work to enhance the film.
That's so silly. I think that's the beauty of working on a children's film as well. We've really been in our childish bag for the past 6 months and just being really jovial on set, lots of Capri Sun flying around that the adults on set loved more than the child actor. Anyway, I digress. So we're moving on to how you can support us going forward. And yes, great job, Jamil. DeAndre Davis playing Jamil was absolutely amazing. I'm just reading what you guys are saying in the chat here.
I'm sorry, Lola. Okay, yeah, so the first thing we want to mention is donations. We do understand we're in a pandemic. It's a very tough time for everyone, for us, for you. But if you do have the resources, we would love if you would consider, pledging or contributing financially. But if you can't, don't worry. We still love you. We still want your support. And a few other ways that you can support us include following us on social media. We are at Room Rodeo Film on all social media platforms. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. If you like what you see, share it. Let people know to follow us as well.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing for us, making sure that Room Rodeo arrives in the feeds of as many people anywhere. So I'm English, Chloe is American. There are a bunch of people. I saw somebody saying like, I'm here from Uganda, all that kind of stuff. Like everyone around the world is being represented, and we really want this story to touch as many people as possible. So please engage with us. And yes, we just had the social media links dropped in the chat now.
Yeah, and so the last way that you can support us is to share our crowdfunding campaign. Whether you're able to donate or not, if you think that this is something, if you think that this is a project, or if you think that Lola and I are people worthy of your support or support in general, please share our crowdfunding campaign. Support our film and our social media pages. And with that, our crowdfunding campaign is live. Woo! We really hope you'll consider helping us reach our crowdfunding goals. This film is so important to us. The team is so important to us. We were so grateful to have spent those 6 days with the cast. We really feel like this film is a very strong contender for festivals. But to get to the festivals, we need to have this professional work done. So yeah.
Yeah, and again, the links are there, and I'm really loving and getting slightly distracted by reading what's going on in the chat. For context, somebody in the chat, so Murdoch, who actually appears in the film and is a Chicago-based organizer and cowboy himself, has a riding lesson to go to at 3 p.m. So this is It's real. We've really been engaging with Black cowboys everywhere, and it's really important that having done all this work, we're able to complete the film.
Yeah, and so stay tuned for our crowdfunding campaign. This is happening throughout the month of March. We wanted so desperately to launch it during Black History Month, but I think Black History Month is every month. And also, I like to claim a full 31 days. So as far as I'm concerned, Black History Month goes until like March 3rd. But please stay tuned. We're gonna have some great giveaways, playlists, and more. So if you are not following us on social media, please do. It's gonna be great. If you feel like you were super interested in what you were hearing about the film processes, you can learn more on our website. We have an official website. The link is in the comments. Go to www.roomrodeofilm.com, where we have more about the cast. We have interviews from our crew. We have a lot of behind the scenes that you can check out. And yeah, please do.
Yep, we're everywhere, really covering all bases. But right now, what we really want to do is show you a clip from the film, the first part of the film, really give context to what it is that you saw in the little snippet that we took through those processes. And we're going to throw to our editor, Paige Brunsen, to be able to do that. So she'll be sharing her screen. Oh, yay, and now that the screen share stopped, I can see all your lovely faces, which is...
Everyone, yeah, I want to just go through because I wasn't seeing everyone that was here. Hi, thank you all so much for coming. Let me make sure Paige has the ability. Okay, now you have the ability to share your screen, Paige.
Yeah, so just a little caveat that we're still going through many of the processes. It's not going to have any color grading on it, but we hope you'll enjoy it as much as we do.
Jamil, don't you slam my door. The one thing you could do is show up for him, Jay. How many times? And fix your face. Because then I'm the bad guy, right? Least you could do is apologize. All right. Don't make me come in there. You know I got a lot of stuff to do around the house today.
I gotta go.
Yeah, okay. That's real mature, Jay. Real mature.
Hey, man. Jamil, I messed up.
You said you'd help me do my project about great-grandpops. Remember?
I'm sorry, kid, but you know how your pop's job be. When's it due?
Tomorrow.
Listen, I got some time right now. Hit me. What you want to know about the big boss? How about we start from the top?
Sure. Like when great-grandpops was my age?
Yeah, sure.
What they used to call him again?
Billy freaking P. Don't tell your mom I said that, though. All right. It all starts way back in the 1900s. Your great-granddad was the son of a freed man. He didn't care that much for school, though. He stopped going right around your age, actually.
Cool.
Don't start. Anyways, your great-granddad spent a lot of time with his older brothers and livestock. They say that's how he learned he could tame a cow just by biting his lip.
I could never do something like that.
Yeah, he was the greatest man that ever was. Billy P, the bulldogger. He traveled the country, making a name for himself. Back then, white folk ain't...
Come on, man, we need you in here. Are you coming in?
Yeah. Jamil, I gotta go.
No,
You
wait,
got this.
wait. Jamil, you got this. You got this. The bravest man and black cowboy there ever was. Come on. You've been to this. Jamil, you've been to this.
Thank you, Paige. Paige is our editor. I don't know if we said that, but we've been working very closely with Paige and Daniel the last couple of weeks. Aw, thank you for all the claps.
Yeah, that was the first 3 minutes of Room Radio, and much more to come.
Much more to come. So I don't really need to share my screen from this, but this was our showcase and our launch event. If anyone has to go, now is a great time, but we also wanted to hear from you all. So we wanted to welcome you to unmute yourselves if you wanted, ask any questions, or, you know, just pipe up if you wanted.
Don't be shy.
Don't be shy.
Hey, this is Tyree.
Hey, Tyree. So
Yes.
Tyree plays Jamil's dad in Room Rodeo.
That was awesome. I loved it.
Yeah, you had a great performance. So shout out to you.
Thank you. Jamil is a natural. Well, DeAndre, I'm sorry. DeAndre is a natural.
We all call poor DeAndre Jamil all the time. That's just how convincing he was.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you guys so much. I'm over here doing two things at once. I'm doing some construction and listening in. And I just want to share my love real quick and say hi to everybody.
Oh, thank you so much.
So much for joining us.
No problem. How do you? I'm trying to hold on, guys. I'm sorry.
Hi, Chloe.
Hey, Auntie.
Hi. I just wanted to chime in quickly and say I'm so proud of you. The film just looks like it's going to be amazing.
Hi, Chloe and Lola. I just want to tell both of you young ladies how proud I am to see you two and to see what you were involved with and to take that step forward as being the next generation of female role models here. I've learned so much just from the bit of information you shared with us today about what goes into trying to put a film together. So I am really proud of you two young ladies, and I just wish you all the best. And it's gonna happen. Just know that you're gonna get what you need.
Thank you so much. And so good to see you.
And you too. Just so proud.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hey.
Hi.
Zada. So Zada, let me introduce you. Zada plays Joyce, who is Jamil's mother in the film. She also appears in the film as one of the cowboys. So I don't know if we went into this into great detail, but basically Jamil is stuck in his room. He goes into his imagination, which is populated by, we populate it with multimedia elements. So we have some archival footage. We have interviews that Lola and I conducted with Black cowboys and cowgirls all over the country. And then on set, we also had actors dressed up in costume to portray cowboys as well. And so Zada was dressed up as a beautiful Black cowgirl, and she flew in to help us film this project. So
I'm actually back in Chicago right now.
Oh man, that's nice.
I just got in this morning, but I'm so excited and it looks really good. And I was just like smiling. I was just smiling and I was just happy and I was just excited for you guys and how it looks and how it came out. And I could already tell when we were on set that it was going to be good, but I was just waiting. I'm like, I know it's going to look good. And then I got to see it and I was right. So congratulations. And I cannot wait to see the rest of it.
We're really excited to share when it gets finished.
Oh my gosh.
Thanks so much for joining us today, Zada.
Oh, thank you.
Hi, so my name's Yasmin, I'm Yanni's sister. I just wanted to say I'm so proud of you guys. This is like super cool. I teach 4th grade, so I know that the kids of today, they want to see this kind of material, I promise you, okay? They want to see this, so I'm really excited. I hope it takes off, and I hope we can get like a link, or maybe you guys end up on Amazon Prime or something. I will pay, I will buy it, I will show every 4th grade class that I have forever.
Amazing.
It'll be a long time because as you can see, I'm very young.
No, that's so important and uplifting to hear, because as much as we do want to get into the film festivals, equal or even bigger goals for this to be used as an educational tool and screen in person as life returns back to normal in classrooms and museums, hopefully, and just lots of places where we'll be able to reach our target audience.
Hi, it's Sharon.
Hey. So Sharon is, let me introduce you real quick, Sharon. Sharon is the mother of a bull rider. Her son, Aaron Baxter, is actually a Chicago native. I believe grew up in South Shore, right, Sharon?
Yes.
Yeah, South Shore. And he, from a very young age, was just obsessed with horses, cowboys, even though that was not necessarily a part of his upbringing. You know, he didn't grow up in Texas or Oklahoma, where there are very active Black cowboy communities. And Sharon, being a great mother, great supportive mother, basically gave him the opportunity to just really get involved in that. And so now he's a professional bull rider, and Sharon is one of the voices included in our film.
I'm so happy to see both of you. Very excited about the project. I'm sitting here watching it, clapping, imagining my son, you know, as his story progressed. And I know the difference this will make for all children because he saw it and he did it. And I know there will be several that will follow from your film.
Thank you so much for the kind words.
Love you all.
I feel honestly so touched. Right.
Hi, I have a question. My name is Sam, and I was wondering, were you guys previously into like the Western genre and Western history before making this, or was it kind of like a idea that you had from Little Nas X? Is like, that would be cool to look into?
So to answer that question, Little Nas X was definitely the jumping board to be like, right, we should make this. But in terms of us having an interest in Black Western heritage and the contributions of African Americans to the American West, it was definitely something that we were very interested in before. And to kind of get into the research that went into the project and how we thought, oh wow, like this would be a really cool idea for a film. It was actually a little flyer for a film poster that I saw when I was doing some research, because I'm boring, on the Library of Congress website, and looking into the first Western film to feature a Black cowboy, and it's called The Bill Dogger, centering a legendary cowboy called Bill Pickett, who in the film is Jamil's great-grandfather, Billy P. So that was something that I was interested in. And then it just took us seeing the impact that Black cowboys were beginning to have on popular culture, on Instagram and various different things, to make us think, okay, let's make this into some work and take it beyond like a research passion for us and like an interest, or like a hashtag. I don't know how many of you guys have heard of like the Yeehaw agenda, but Chloe and I both support it. So yeah, I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's awesome. You guys are doing amazing work. Awesome job. I'm so excited to see the final film.
Thank you so much. If I could just chime in, yeah, this idea actually came from an idea that Lola had back in a class that we've been classmates since the beginning. In fact, Lola lived with me for a little bit when she just moved here to the country, and we've been cool ever since. Lola had this great idea that was a little bit different than what this film is coming to be, but it was based on this kid kind of wanting to be a part of this culture, and me being always interested in anything having to do with Black people and Blackness and Black history. I was like, oh, that sounds really cool. And I'm just so, I don't know, like so many emotions because of the partners that we were able to get. And even, and this was something we didn't mention, and I don't know if Mr. Anderson is here today, but even the fact that Gerald Anderson, who is actually the great nephew of Bill Pickett, he has been so supportive of this project. He lent his voice to the project, so he will also be in the film. But to have someone who was so closely connected to this history and this person who Jamil is his role model, was just so touching that he believes in this project. And the other Black cowboys that we spoke to as well, like Gloria had to leave, but I did leave the link to her website, the website for her organization, in the chat. She was so crucial to this film. And so, and Art Walters, who I believe is here today as well, his father was a working cowboy. And so just to have all of these different aspects of Black history and Black culture and Black Western culture, it's just been a joy. And yeah, honestly, more than I could have ever wished for.
Chloe, this is your mom, and I just wanted you to know that your grandfather would be so absolutely proud of you. He loved Westerns. He was so into history, and so if he could be here today, I know that he would give you 5 thumbs up, because I always would buy him gifts about history, about Westerns, because I promise you, every weekend, every chance he got, he'd be watching Westerns on the TV. And I have to be honest, I wasn't really interested, but I did take an interest in him. So I did continue to spark that for him. So I just wanted you to know that this whole idea, I think, somewhere it's in the family genes, that this was kind of passed down to you. And Lola, thank you so much for helping that come to fruition, because like I say, her grandfather would be so absolutely proud of her.
Thanks, Mom.
Hey guys, thank you so much for sharing this with us. It looks super, super, super cool. I'm very excited to see the full thing. I was wondering if you could speak to the challenges you had finding the stories and finding real life Black cowboys, and how you went about that, and how that kind of progressed over time.
So research. I think, again, because we have like a mutual interest in this Black Western heritage and this culture, a lot of the things were really born out of finding that old film poster on the Library of Congress website. So it then became not just about Black cowboys in general, but who are the pioneers, the innovators that we need to make sure are going to be featured in this film. And for us, it was quite strategic in terms of, yes, we want to make a film about Black cowboys, but there's information that we really want people, children in particular, to have. So what are the things we should get in there? Who was an innovator? Who is going to be continuing the future and the legacy of Black cowboys? So those are people like Sharon's son, Aaron Baxter, who's a pro bull rider and cowboy, and just kind of like pinpointing the areas that we would want to see reflected and really seeking those people out online. And then we came across people like Gloria and Jim Austin and their museum, the National Multicultural Western Heritage Museum. And we can't begin to explain how much of a wealth of knowledge and connections they were in terms of connecting us to amazing Black cowboys and their communities all around the culture, all around the country, sorry, and letting them know that we had good intentions, honest intentions. And I think a lot of the time when you go to do something particularly that is quite like sensitive in terms of Black cowboys being overlooked in the past before, it's right. People reserve the right to be skeptical of who is trying to tell their story, who is trying to disseminate information about their community. But Jim and Gloria Austin were really helpful in terms of letting people know that we had honest intentions and to speak to us. And in the end, we ended up with, Chloe, I believe it's like 8 hours worth of documentary audio from speaking to these people, and many conversations back and forth, just getting to know them before we actually arrived at the point that we would interview them for the film.
Absolutely. And I do want to give a shout out to Norman Studios too, because they're based in Jacksonville, which is where I spent a portion of my childhood and where my family lives now. And so that was just a really cool connection too, like realizing that they're literally like right up the street from my house. So yeah, I just wanted to add that because I think it's a cool fact.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Anyone else before we wrap things up here?
Oh yeah, I apologize for being late. I was tied up with some other stuff. I missed the main portion of it, but I'm very glad and proud that you guys are continuing the legacy of the Black cowboy, and I look forward to the final product.
Thank you so much, Mr. Walters. So yeah, I had mentioned Mr. Walters earlier. He's the son of Cleveland Walters, who was a real live working cowboy, and who was featured on several documentaries, including one from the BBC.
Anyone else before we thank you for coming?
Thank you so much, everyone. We're so grateful for all of you being here. Thank you so much for the support. It means the world to us. We cannot wait to show you this film. We have to because we're not finished yet, but we can't wait.
Yeah, we can't wait to show you this film and take it beyond our team out, so like our families, friends can see it, children, just people everywhere. We are really excited and passionate to get it out into the world. And I think this Zoom call, many of the questions that were asked and comments that were made have, like, I don't know, been really touching. And I don't know, I always thought this project was like worthy and like something that needed to be done, but I just can't wait to get it out into the world.